everybody in the sports world knows right now that Colorado is America's college football team. You know, you got your haters out there that hating on my boy Deion, but we're not worried about that. So we know that they just lost their last 2 games. They got smoked by Oregon, which was we kind of understood that was coming. But then they played USC. They were down big, but then, Sanders brought them back into the game with Amarion Miller. You know, we had some adjustments that were made on defense in the second half, and they ended up losing 48-41. But my question is, I'm not going to talk too much about the game in particular. You know, you can add your thoughts in. But my question is, who is the better quarterback, Caleb Williams or Shedeur Sanders?
That's such a good question. But first off, let me say this. I am so upset with that Colorado offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
For running those 2 run plays and that crucial. I mean, you took the ball out of Shedeur's hands. And he brought you down. I mean, he took you down the field. He made those 2 big plays to get you down the field. And, that was just horrible play calling. It was just horrible play calling.
Play calling on both sides was a little. It was just the last 2 games has been a little shaky.
Yeah, that one it was very apparent. That was just horrible play calling. Getting into the question though, man, I'm such a Deion fan. Like I almost like. My heart says Shedeur. My heart says Shedeur, and. I love the way Shedeur is playing. I mean, I love that Tom Brady is one of his mentors. I know that he has plenty of mentors, probably a bunch of mentors, but that Tom Brady is one of them that we know about, and I love that for him. I love that he has somebody that is, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, mentoring you, and you can kind of see I don't want to say the resemblance, but you
say that.
Okay,
say it.
I just
I'm going to say it.
You could almost see the resemblance sometimes in just how he poises himself in the pocket, his maturity throughout the game. I mean, how he manages the clock sometimes. But the thing is, he's still young, so he's going to make some mistakes.
Absolutely.
The only reason why, here's how I will say this. I think Shedeur has the bigger upside. He has the higher ceiling. But for me right now, I have to go with the Heisman winner, man. I mean, Caleb right now, last year he threw for 4,500 plus yards and 42 touchdowns, man. I mean, this dude, that's
spectacular.
It's insane.
Spectacular.
It's insane. And so I don't, I really love what Shedeur's doing, and I am rooting for that whole program. And I want Shedeur to be better than Caleb in the long run. But as of right now, currently, I have to go with Caleb.
Okay. Well, you went on that whole spiel about Colorado and Shedeur, and you just strengthened my argument right now.
Okay.
Yes, he won Heisman last year. In all reality, because he's on a dominant team, he's going to put up crazy numbers. Caleb Williams has thrown for 21 touchdowns to only 1 interception. That came on Saturday. His QBR, I believe, is in the 90s, I want to say. He's probably going to win the Heisman again this year. But right now, with what I see, with what NFL scouts like to see, I'm picking Shedeur Sanders. Okay. I know he played at Jackson State last year, so you can't. If this is a question last year, okay, no chance, right? But what we've seen, and you made the point, what we've seen from this young kid who his father nicknamed him Grown because you can see he does not get rattled.
No.
You can see, let's go back to Colorado State, what he did. But my thing, what always amazed me about Tom Brady was not just the 7 rings, right? Because football is a team sport. You got 11 on offense, 11 on defense. But what was amazing about Tom Brady is multiple times in not just multiple, but for his whole career, in big situations, he was never rattled. And the thing was, he never allowed the defense to make him come out of his character.
Never.
And I know Williams is great. The way he kind of resembles Patrick Mahomes. That's what everybody's saying. That's what we see. But when it gets to the NFL, I don't know if he can necessarily do what he's doing now. I know. I know that when Shedeur gets to the NFL, the way he's sitting in the pocket, the way he can look a safety off, the way he talk, he told Amarion Miller before the game, or before the season, he said, we're going to need you. That's how a leader talks. Now, Caleb Williams has inherited, or he's at a better school. He's with the better coach. Lincoln Riley's a better coach right now than Coach Prime. Right now, you can't do that. You can't do that because he's produced great quarterbacks.
He has.
When he was at Oklahoma, that offense was
I just love Coach Prime.
No,
I love me some Coach Prime. Man. I love me some Coach Prime.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. When I say better, I'm gonna use experience. Okay.
Yeah.
He's been on the big stage.
Yeah.
Prime is one of the greatest football players of all time. But I'm saying from a coach's standpoint, I have to give it to Riley.
He has more success right now. Absolutely.
And it's just so he's gonna see things that Prime can't automatically see.
Right.
And my thing is, I feel like the last few weeks I have a little bit of questions about what Prime is doing with those. He said it in the interview yesterday. He said, I gotta go talk to these coordinators because you can't keep coming up flat like this.
Talk to these coordinators, Prime. Please.
Talk to them.
Put them in a session, sit them down. Ask them, how their day is going, if there's something on their mind. Talk to these coordinators, Prime. We cannot.
Because if this continues, we can't have this. If it continues, somebody has to go. Because he said he's 7 to 8 guys, and we know they didn't have Travis last game for the last 2 games, who's to me is the most valuable player to that team because he plays both sides. And they didn't have Shiloh.
They didn't have Shiloh,
So for them to come back into the game shows that Prime is doing something right. But when it comes to an OC in a DC, I played on a high school team. I wasn't a big time player, but I played on a team. The reason why the team won the championship is because we had the best defensive coordinator in the state.
It matters.
He was a mastermind and because the defense was so. I'm not even gonna say our defense because I didn't play. Because the defense was so good, it puts so much pressure on the other defense to stop our juggernaut offense. But our defense was the strong point. Once the DC left, the school's never been the same. So I feel like he has to do something with what they allowed against Oregon. That was the red. I know it was the first loss, but that was like, this is just complete obliteration.
It was bad, and like I said, those last 2 plays that they called. I mean, they put the ball in Shedeur's hands, keep the ball in his hands. But going back to your point, about who's the better quarterback right now, and this is why I said that Shedeur is going to have the bigger upside because his game is going to translate so much cleaner.
You don't see quarterbacks play like this at this level.
No.
Everybody wants to. You got the Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson.
Right.
We were so amazed. Yes, they could throw, but what amazed me about, and I'm just being real, these black quarterbacks is they could throw the ball, but they were spectacular with their legs. Shedeur has shown us he can run, but that's not his strong suit like it is with his passing.
And actually, I think that might be something that Shedeur may want to work on too, trying to be more elusive. Trying to evade because
he doesn't look as athletic this year as he looked last year.
He's getting there's some situations I'm like you probably could have got out of that if you spun this way or ran a little quicker. But with all that being said,
to me, I just feel like when I see Shedeur I'm yelling at TV like, if you don't run, but at the same time, he's really like you said, working with Tom. Right now is not the big picture. The NFL is the big picture, so he's probably really trying.
You think he's staying?
We're going to have to get in that. So we're going to wait. We're going to see how many games. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to see.
Man.
I think with the players that Prime's going to have coming in, it's going to be hard for him because Caleb Williams' dad said Caleb might not leave. Because he doesn't want him going to a franchise, and you see what the Bears are doing to Justin Fields. All of a sudden, Justin Fields is a bust. Did y'all see what Justin? I know this is not about Justin Fields right now, but go look at Justin Fields' tape from last. He can play.
He can.
So he doesn't want Caleb to go to a team where they make him look like Zach Wilson and Justin Fields. You know what I mean? But go Bucks.
What happens. We'll see what
Colorado. Colorado all day.
Yes,
I hope they win out, but they will be in a bowl game. But we got some more great content coming from y'all.